Everyone, welcome to my channel Easy to Achieve. In this channel, I would like to present many English literature topics. Today, in this video, I am going to present life and works of Robert Frost. Not only life and works, and also achievements and awards. His full name is Robert Lee Frost. He was born in the year 1874 and died in the year 1963. He was born in San Francisco, California, and his father name is William Prescott Frost and his mother name is Isabel Moody. And his father is a journalist. And Frost died in Boston, Massachusetts, US, and he was died due to pulmonary embolism. It means lungs become blocked by a blood clot. And his father started his career as a teacher and later an editor. And his father passed away when he was 11 years old. So his personal life is filled with full of grief and loss. And after his father's death, and Frost and his family members, they moved to New Hampshire. So in that place, his grandfather purchased a farm for Frost in Derry, New Hampshire. In the year 1900, Frost and his family members, they moved to this farm in Derry, New Hampshire. And that farm, it was purchased by his grandfather. And the next 12 years, they spent their life in that place only. And this time, it is mentioned as a fruitful time for Frost writing. Most of his time, he used for his writing. And it was not only the fruitful time, and also it has mentioned as a difficult period. Because of his personal problem, he lost his two young children. And this is a great honor for Frost. At the inauguration of President Kennedy, Frost was invited to recite his poem, The Gift Outright. It's a famous patriotic poem. In that poem, he has mentioned about that Americans, people's sufferings and as well as their development and their freedom, everything he has mentioned. So he received that honor and he recited that poem on his inauguration. And this is a great words given by the great poet, British poet Robert Graves. And he has appreciated Frost by these words, that as Frost was the first American poet who could honestly be reckoned a master poet by world standards. And he has been mentioned as the rustic poet, and the setting of his poem, it's a rural life in New England. It is especially in the early 20th century. And his themes, it's based on only the everyday event of ordinary people life. The ordinary event of ordinary people. And he has received 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. The first one for his collection named New Hampshire in the year 1924. The second one for his poem, Collected Poems in the year 1931. And in 1937, for his collection named A Further Range, he received his 3rd Pulitzer Prize. And the 4th one in 1943 for his work, A Witness Tree. And not only this, and also he received that Congressional Gold Medal in the year 1960. And he was appointed as a Poet Laureate in the year 1958. About his children, Frost and White had 6 children together, and their first child, Eliot, was born in 1896 and daughter Leslie was born in 1899. And his first child died due to cholera in the year 1900, and after his death, Eleanor gave birth to 4 more children. Son Carol, who would commit suicide in the year 1940. The next child, Irma, developed mental illness. And the next is his daughter, Marjorie, who died in her late 20s after giving birth. That is after delivery time. And Eleanor, who had died just weeks after she was born. So all these personal problems, it affects him a lot. All these personal issues and personal problems and the difficulties and the pathetic condition of Frost, everything we can see as the last major collection. The name of that collection is A Witness Tree. It was published in the year 1942. It contains a number of poems. It reflects these disasters. That is what I have mentioned above. That is, one son has committed suicide, that one son has died due to cholera, and one daughter died after giving birth. So all these personal problems he has mentioned, All these personal problems reflect in his poems, especially in his the major collection, The Witness Tree. And these are the collections of Robert Frost, that is a Boysville, north of Boston, Mountain Interval, New Hampshire, and so on so. And I have mentioned the published year also. And among these collections, the first 4 collections was very important collections of Robert Frost, and most of his famous poems we can see only the first 4 collections. And these are the famous poems of Robert Frost, and the first is collection named Boysville. 2 famous poems, not only 2, many, but very important poems I have mentioned here, Moving and October. It was published in his collection named Boysville. The next in his collection, North of Boston, he has published many poems. I have chosen only the famous poems here, Home Burial, Mending Wall, The Fear, After Apple Picking, The Death of a Hired Man, and The Mountain. The next one, The Mountain Interval. So in this collection, we can see Birches, Road Not Taken, and Hyla Brook. The next one, New Hampshire, and we can enjoy the poems like Fire and Ice, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. The next famous collection, A Witness Tree. Here we can see and enjoy the famous patriotic poem of Robert Frost, The Gift Outright. These are the famous quotes of Robert Frost. Here the first one, it's a world famous quote. That is, it has taken from the Road Not Taken, famous poem of Robert Frost. Here, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the differences. Here the speaker stands in the woods. Here he described the dilemma of a person standing at a road with diversion. This diversion symbolizes a real life situation. Sometimes in life too, there come times when we have to take a tough decision. He could not travel both roads. At last, he has chosen the road which was not used by many to show the difference between him and others. And the next 2 quotation is taken from Mending Wall, famous poem of Robert Frost. And that first one, my apple trees will never get across and eat the corns under his spines, and I tell him. Here every winter season, the speaker and his neighbor used to mend a wall which was damaged. Here the speaker of the poem jokingly says, his apple tree will not cross the line to earth his neighbor's pine cones. So it is a waste of time and work and money and labor, everything it's waste. But as a neighbor couldn't understand what he has mentioned. So in the name of modernity, the speaker accept the changes, but his neighbor, he never accept the changes. He always stick on with his tradition and as well as his ancestors' sayings, that is, good fences make good neighbors. He wants to maintain a boundary line between him and his neighbor. Then only they can make themselves as a good neighbor. So that is the opinion of his neighbor. So we couldn't change the attitude and the character of that neighbor. And the next famous quotation, it has taken from the Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. So here the lines are, these woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promised to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Here Frost or speaker riding on his horse, suddenly he admired the beauty of the place because the whole place is surrounded by the snows, and he admired the beauty. So it's a lovely, dark and deep. So his mind and heart wants to live in that, stay in that place. But he thought before his death, he wants to admire many places like this, so that only he wants to leave that place. And the next one is, Earth, the right place for love. I don't know where it is likely to go better. So according to Robert Frost, according to that speaker, the better place is earth. There is no better place than earth. So the earth is the right place for love. He doesn't know other better place for love. So it has taken from Birches. And the next, home is the place where when you have to go there and they have to take you in. And home only the place, if you go, it will take you in. So we can feel that home is a safety and secure place. It is taken from home burial, and other three quotes are from his prose work. The first one is, half the world is composed of people who have something to say and can't, and the other of who have nothing to say and keep on saying it. The few, that is half of the people, they have lots of knowledge and they want to say but they didn't say. But other half of the people, there is nothing with them but they keep on saying something. The next quotation, no tears in the writer, no tears in the reader, no surprise in the writer, no surprise in the reader. So here the writer couldn't feel anything else, he couldn't create any feel among his reader. And that writer, he doesn't feel any surprise, curiosity or interest. He couldn't bring out any surprise, curiosity, interest among his reader. And the next famous quotation, poetry begins in delight and ends in wisdom. It has taken from his prose work, Figure a Poem Makes. So according to Frost, the poem should begin with delight, that is happiness. And at the end of the poem, we have to gain certain knowledge. We have to gain wisdom. So that is the purpose of poems. So poem should begin with happiness and ends with wisdom. I hope you can enjoy. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please subscribe it. I will meet you in my next video. Thank you.